Myself M. Gunakar, Assistant Professor of Zoology, Government Degree College, Siddipet, Telangana State. Today let us discuss the calotis blood circulation. That means in the last class we have seen the heart structure and function. Today let us continue this blood vascular system topic with arterial system as well as venous system. You know, arterial system is a system formed by the arteries. Arteries are the blood vessels which carry the blood from heart to all parts of the body, supplying to all parts of the body. Arterial system is formed by two types of aortic arches. One pulmonary aorta or pulmonary arch and a pair of systemic arches. Now pulmonary aorta is a pulmonary aorta. Pulmonary aorta or pulmonary arch arise from the cavum pulmonale of the ventricle and divides into two pulmonary arteries and enter into the respective lungs. So this pulmonary aorta carries the deoxygenated blood to the lungs for the oxygenation. Now come to the systemic arches. There are a pair of systemic arches are present, among which right systemic arch arises from the left side of the cavum dorsale of the ventricle, which carries only pure blood, whereas left systemic arch arises from the right side of the cavum dorsale of the ventricle, which carries mixed blood. Now two systemic arches cross each other. So this is the right systemic arch and this is the left systemic arch. The right systemic and left systemic, after immediately coming out, they cross each other and run over the two arteries and curve over the esophagus, then unite posterior to the heart mid-dorsally to form the dorsal aorta. So this is the dorsal aorta which runs downwards dorsally. This right systemic, this is the right systemic. It gives off in front a very short innominate or common carotid artery, innominate or common carotid artery, this one, and it soon bifurcates. It's soon innominate artery, now it is bifurcates like this one and this one. It bifurcates into right and left carotid arteries which run parallel to the systemic arch of that side. So this is right carotid and left carotid, they are running parallel to the right systemic and left systemic. Each carotid artery further divides into external carotid and internal carotid. External carotid arteries supplying oxygenated blood to these two carotid arteries supplying oxygenated blood to head region. So from the internal carotid, palatine artery to the palate and stapedial artery arises, whereas the external carotid artery gives off buccal artery to the buccal cavity, laryngotracheal artery to the larynx and trachea, and the thyroid artery to the thyroid gland. The internal carotid is connected to the systemic arch of its side by a small ductus caroticus. So this is ductus caroticus. So the internal carotid is attached to the right systemic by a small duct which is representing the remnant of embryonic lateral aorta. From the right systemic, a subclavian artery, common subclavian artery arises and it soon divides into right and left subclavian arteries supplying blood to the four limbs. Again, a vertebral artery also comes out from the right systemic and supplying to the vertebral column. Then the two systemic aorta, that means right systemic and left systemic aortae, joined together here, posterior to the heart on the dorsal side, and the jointed structure, that means jointed blood vessel, is called dorsal aorta, which runs dorsally and up to the posterior end, that is up to the caudal region, and this straight backward mid dorsally, it gives off many branches. Let us discuss these branches. Now, first of all, parietals. These are the parietals. Several pairs throughout they supply to dorsal muscles and vertebral column. And then anterior esophageal arteries. Anterior esophageal. This is anterior esophageal, which supplies to the esophagus. Then gastric, supply to the stomach. Anterior mesenteric, supplying to small intestine. Then celiac artery, supplying to stomach, pancreas and spleen. Then posterior mesenteric artery, supplying to the large intestine. Then genital artery, supplying to the gonads. In male, they supply to the testis, and in female, they supply to the ovaries. Then 3 to 4 pairs of the renal arteries, they supply to the kidney. Then iliac artery, common iliac artery. This common iliac artery again divides into, it gives out pelvic artery to the pelvic girdle, and then again it divides into the common iliac artery, external iliac and internal iliac, supplying to the hind limbs. Then posterior most part of the dorsal aorta supplies to the run downwards, and it continues into tail region, supplying to the tail. So this is about the arterial system. Now come to the venous system, and now you can see the blood circulation venous system. The venous system is formed by a pair of pulmonary veins and a pair of precavals and one median postcaval veins. Now the pulmonary veins, one pair of pulmonary veins, they coming from the lungs, they bringing the oxygenated blood, and immediately they unite to form common pulmonary, and they open to the left auricle through an aperture. Then precavals, a pair of precavals are present, right precaval and left precaval. These are formed by, and each one of them formed by internal and external jugulars from head region. Again, one subclavian vein which bring the blood from the forelimbs, and again an azygous vein which brings the blood from the ventral thoracic wall. So each precaval are joined by internal and external jugulars from the head region, subclavian from the forelimbs, and azygous from the ventral thoracic wall. Then postcaval vein. The postcaval is formed by the union of two right and left efferent renal veins which collect blood from the kidneys. Now we can observe the figure here. So you can see precaval. These two are precaval veins. Each precaval is formed by the internal jugular vein and external jugular vein, subclavian vein and azygous veins respectively, and they bring the blood from respective regions, and the deoxygenated blood they open into the sinus venosus. Okay. Now coming to the postcaval. This postcaval is formed by many posterior most parts of the body which are posterior to the heart, and these deoxygenated blood from all posterior parts of the body are collected by this postcaval from the different branches, and finally that is poured into the sinus venosus, and Again, this sinus venosus opens into the right auricle through a sino-auricular aperture, which is guarded by a valve. Already we have discussed when we discussed the structure of the heart. Now, this postcaval, actually, just now I told you, is formed by the union of two right and left efferent renal veins. Right and left efferent renal veins, which collect blood from the kidneys. These are the kidneys. Before union, each efferent renal vein, they collect blood from the genital veins of that side. That means gonads in males, the testis, and in female, the ovaries. The postcaval also receives a stout hepatic vein from the liver. This is the liver. So, postcaval, before entering into the sinus venosus, it also receives the hepatic vein from the liver before it enters into the posterior angle of the sinus venosus. Now again, there is a portal systems available or present in the case of the calotis. These portal systems, there are two portal systems are present, collecting the blood from the other parts of the body. One is renal portal system and the hepatic portal system. Renal portal system collects the blood from the posterior most part of the body, that is hind limbs and other parts, whereas hepatic portal system collects the blood, deoxygenated blood from the alimentary canal. Now let us see. First, renal portal system. A median caudal vein, when we see in the diagram, you can easily understand. A median caudal vein, you can see the median caudal vein here, collects the blood from the tail region. It bifurcates over kidneys into two pelvic veins. So it is bifurcating like this, two pelvic veins. Each pelvic sends an afferent renal portal vein. Each pelvic sends an afferent renal portal vein to the kidneys and divides into capillaries in the kidneys. The pelvic vein now receives, this pelvic vein now receives a femoral and a sciatic vein from the hind limbs of its side. So these are the right side and these are the left side. Now the two pelvic veins now unite in front of kidneys. So these two pelvic veins and these are the two pelvic veins, they unite here to form a median anterior epigastric vein. This is the median anterior epigastric vein. This is the epigastric vein, and which enters into the liver and breaks up in the liver into many capillaries. Now coming to the hepatic portal system, a stout hepatic portal vein, you can see now here. So this is the hepatic portal vein. This hepatic portal vein is formed by branches from the stomach. So this is the stomach, intestine and pancreas. Okay, that means gastric vein, pancreatic vein and the posterior mesenteric vein. All of them, they join and open into the hepatic portal vein. This hepatic portal vein and ultimately enters into the liver and breaks up into capillaries, and the collected blood from the liver is supplied to the postcaval vein through hepatic vein, that we have already seen. And this postcaval vein ultimately opens into the sinus venosus. Then from the sinus venosus, that is the sinus venosus opens directly into the right auricle through sino-auricular aperture. Thank you.